Okay, a pleasant good day reaching out to each and every one. I am David Squeeze Annakie, CEO of the Link Up Media Group of Companies. And each and every single weekday, we do a show that's called Cruising with the Case Handler. It's a show that is brought to you by the law firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And of course, it's where we discuss personal injury and immigration. Today makes no exception. We will be doing that today. We've got a lot coming up this week, but I just want to say a pleasant good morning to each and every one out there. My colleague and co-host, Mr. Adam Handler, will join us very shortly. I am here with Alan E.K., one of the top immigration attorneys at the firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. A pleasant good morning to you, Alan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning. Good morning to everybody listening.
Good morning, man. How is this snow treating you?
Good, because I didn't go out. I just took the dog for a walk twice. He likes snow.
Oh, the dog likes the snow.
Yep.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. You know. Well, we got walloped a few inches, I must say. You know,
A lot.
Snow is good. I don't mind the snow. You know. But here we are. We just got joined by Nelson Madrid, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be on in a second. Once again, this Friday at 6 p.m., we will be doing a very special show. It's the first PPID law forum that will be on Zoom and also on 93.5 and also on Facebook. If you would like to be a part of it, I implore you to actually register for the event at eventbrite.com. That's eventbrite.com. Just go to Eventbrite, type in PPID Law Forum, and you'll be able to register for free, where you can participate with the attorneys, ask all of your questions, and so forth. So join us this Friday at 6 p.m. sharp, okay? Friday, February the 5th at 6 p.m. sharp. We will be discussing different areas of law with a premise on immigration. We've got the top immigration attorneys at the firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, and we welcome your questions and so forth. Let me check in with Nelson. Nelson, how you doing, man?
Good morning. I am snowed in.
Yeah.
I am snowed in today. I was actually unable to make it into the city, obviously, as a result of the more than 18 inches of snow that we got. But I am here. I am ready, and let's go. Let's get it started.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, do remember, the big forum is going to be on Friday. And right now, we'd like for you to actually also put your questions in the comment section on Facebook. We're live on the Case Handler page. We're live on the firm's page, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. We're live on my page and quite a few other pages. What we would like right now is I would like to ask, everyone to actually, get my phone to make sure I'm getting the questions. I'd like everyone that's watching us on Facebook to please share in the groups that you're a part of. All right. If you know people out there who would like to have their immigration questions answered, share the link that you are watching and tell them to ask their immigration questions, ask questions on green card, ask questions on their citizenship and how, one can naturalize, which is something that I think we really need to speak about, gentlemen, about people naturalizing and getting their citizenship, and why they should. So with that said, I'm going to jump it over to, the man with the depth, the experience, the general, to bring us up to speed with some immigration news update as we get into it and gear up for this Friday at 6 p.m. right here on Facebook, Zoom, and Eventbrite. Alan E.K.
Okay, good morning. I have a lot of stuff. So
okay.
First of all, we were talking about snow, and listeners should know, if they don't know already, the Newark, Brooklyn, New York City, and Queens USCIS offices are closed due to hazardous conditions. So don't try to go there because those offices are closed for today. Okay, next, we're expecting a hearing in the Senate today on Alejandro Mayorkas, who has been nominated to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security. He's a very good guy. He's an immigrant himself. He came here from Cuba. He's a lawyer. And the full Senate has to vote on it today. And we're hoping that the Senate will pass it, and he will then become the head of the Department of Homeland Security. It will be a really good thing for everybody. Okay, next. Here's an interesting one that I just found out myself yesterday. Lots of people go into the American consul for a visitor's visa, and the consul denies. And people will say, well, what can I do to change your mind? Well, this is new. The Department of State put in a temporary final rule, November 24th, 2020, which created a temporary pilot program under which if a country has visa applicants with a 10% or higher overstay rate in the B1, B2 visitors visa category, it is possible to post a bond. And the bond may then persuade the American consul to issue you a B1 or a visitor for business or a B2 visitor for pleasure. So that hasn't been the possibility. I mean, you could always in the past offer to post a bond. It was up to the consul if they wanted to take it, but it's become a little more formal now that it may be possible to post a bond and make it easier to get your visitor's visa. Okay, now, as far as traveling, I'm just going to talk to you about what you have to do to travel.
Could you just reiterate that bond thing in reference to the visitor's visa for me, please?
Here is this, that now they put in a program, temporary final program, which was created November 24th, 2020, temporary pilot program, where a country has people who have come to the United States, more than 10% of them overstay their visitor's visa. And this program will allow the person to say to the consulate, all right, you're not going to give me a B1, B2 visitor's visa. You don't think I'm going to come back. I will be happy to post a bond, and we'll discuss how much you want me to post to make sure that I will go home. It may make it easier now for people to get their visitor's visas, where previously the consul didn't give it to you and wouldn't listen to you and didn't think you'd go home. It may make the consul change his mind if you say, I will be happy to post the bond. I know there's a new thing now, and tell me how much you want me to post, and this will make sure that I will go home after my visa is finished. So this
does this apply to people who overstayed initially, or people who, I'm trying to understand?
No, it applies to people who are at the consulate, who are applying for a visa.
Okay, okay. So this is not people who are overstayed and is going back. This is for people who are just going for the first time.
That's right. Okay, now let's go on to some other stuff. Really interesting. I went on to the website of the American consulate in Kingston, and there are two things. They're talking, first of all, and we know this already, that if you're coming to the United States and anybody 2 years of age and older has to provide a negative COVID-19 viral test within 3 calendar days of travel. Now, if you had COVID and you're in Jamaica, but you're over it, you have to get a letter from the doctor showing that you've recovered from COVID-19 in the 90 days before you're going to travel. But in addition, the website from the consulate in Kingston is really nice because it gives a lot of good things and talks about how we promise we'll treat you with dignity and respect. Even if we can't give you a visa, we'll treat you as an individual. Your case is unique. A lot of really nice things, but two things which are kind of important. It says if you're a student and you want to come to the United States, we will make every effort to ensure that you get an appointment. And if you're qualified, to get a visa in time to start your classes. Doesn't mean they're going to give it to you, but they're going to give you special treatment if you're a student coming to the United States. Also, if you want to come to the United States for some kind of medical or humanitarian emergency reason, they will expedite processing for those dealing with life-threatening emergencies, medical and humanitarian reasons. I mean, theoretically, it could be that one of your relatives in the United States is dying or in very serious shape, and they're saying for medical and humanitarian emergency travelers, we'll expedite this. We'll try to, we'll try to do this quicker. Also for business travelers, we will try to do it a little bit quicker. So it's kind of nice. And so I found a lot of nice things on the website for the consulate in Kingston. And some of you who have never done it before should try to check out the website of the consulate in Kingston. Okay, next. I think this week we're going to have some major announcements from the Biden administration on some new things. It was supposed to be last week, but they postponed it to this week, and I think the target was Tuesday today. So let's see what happens on that those announcements. Okay, now we've been talking about Squeeze talked about naturalization, and everybody should file for naturalization. And we know that the Trump administration put in a new naturalization test, which would make it more difficult and harder to pass. Well, the Biden people may be too busy right now, but I think eventually in the near future, they're going to try to soften or go back to the old naturalization test, which was a lot easier. Public charge has been a big problem. U.S. Supreme Court is considering public charge, but at the same time, the Biden administration may drop the public charge requirement, and that may be part of this week's announcement. However, it may require a rule change. So right now, the 944 form, which forces you to fill out a lot
So they have dropped that. They have dropped that now.
No, not yet, not yet. They're going to drop it, but right now it's still in effect. It's pending in the court, so you still have to put in the 944, which is really a pain in the neck. But I think eventually they're going to try to drop that.
Alan, if I could jump in for a second, Squeeze, we have been getting requests for evidence on cases where the 944 was not filed. So while it's, literally in litigation, it's still a requirement. So if you file for adjustment of status and you're not including that, be ready to receive a request for evidence requesting that. Litigation means that it's presently, obviously in the courts, but as of the present, it is still a requirement. So if you file your application for adjustment of status without that form and without the supporting documentation, immigration will issue a request for evidence, as we have seen firsthand.
And it's a complicated form. So if you need help in filling out that form, call PPID, call us, make an appointment. We'll be happy to help you with the form, because even lawyers have it.
And let me give them that number. Let me give them that number too, Alan. The number is 844-774-3529. That's the number for the firm, 844 PPID Law. That's it, 844-774-3529. The show is called Cruising with the Case Handler. The case handler just popped up like he just came off Mount Everest. So I just wanted to introduce him here, Alan, the guy who just came from Mount Everest, all right? Looking all snowed in.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you none other than Adam Handler, the case handler.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, 2 feet of snow here in North Jersey, 2 feet of snow. So in honor of that, I'm wearing my snow hat here. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you're home, keeping warm, listening to the radio. Although, do people really do that anymore? It seems like that was back in the day. You'd huddle around that radio and listen to everything. People are probably, if you're listening to us right now on 93.5 FM, of course, we thank you for that. But you're either streaming it on your phone, or you're forced to be out right now in your car when everybody else should be home, kind of hunkering down and waiting for them to clear the roads. But many of you probably are watching us on Facebook right now. You're streaming us live on Facebook. You'll be watching us live later on Instagram, and we thank you so much. But the main point of what we're trying to accomplish this morning and every morning, ladies and gentlemen, is just to let you know that we are attorneys. We are a full service law firm here in Manhattan. I handle the personal injury cases. My partners Nelson and Conrad. I handle the immigration cases along with the general and a wonderful, wonderful staff. So, please, thank you so much for considering us. Hopefully you never need us, but God forbid you do. We are exceptional lawyers that do things in a very, very different way from everybody else. Today, of course, is Tuesday. We can get to Testimonial Tuesday in a few minutes. And for those of you who don't know what Testimonial Tuesday is, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. It's our way of showing you firsthand, what we do for our clients. Don't take our word for it. Take the word of those who unfortunately have come before you that never expected to get into a terrible accident and never expected that they would need a personal injury lawyer. So that's what we're here to do. We can certainly jump into that right now, or we can talk a little bit more about immigration and jump back into it before top of the hour. That's totally.
Adam, why don't, considering the weather and what's going on, even with the clearing of the roads and everything, I think you should actually expound a little bit on automobile accident, especially in this type of weather. Yeah. And what one will not do, God forbid they get into an accident. What should one do? You are the top personal injury attorney on this station. You have proven yourself, $130 million plus, 15 years. So I think now is a perfect time for you to speak about that. Accidents are going to happen. We can't avoid them. They're going to happen at some point. So what should one do?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, first thing you want to do, if God forbid you're in an accident and you're in need of medical attention, you call 911. You obviously want the police there responding to the scene. You want to get checked out if you do feel pain to any part of your body. I remember, when COVID first hit, people would call us saying, well, I got checked out, but they told me not to go to the emergency room. Said, go to urgent care, follow up with my doctor. But things have kind of calmed down a little bit in the emergency room. So they are they are a safer place to go. So we do encourage you that if you are in need of medical attention, you do get that medical attention you need. And then, of course, you give us a call. We really do handle everything. Some people, call the insurance company before they call us. Some people call us before they call the insurance company. I prepare to have a single voice. I prefer to have, full control over everything, just to make sure that everything is perfectly documented and the case gets off to the right start. So again, if God forbid you're in that accident, call 911 and then give us a call. Hopefully you're in a condition in which you're able to do that, or if you're not, maybe a family member will. But we're here to help, and we really do take care of everything, Squeeze, and that's just another difference between us and other law firms.
And I like that.
I have a question, actually. So what happens if you get into an accident and you don't call your insurance because the other driver said, look, we could work this out between us, and now a week or two pass, and of course there's no working it out with the other driver?
Yeah. And you said, and the police were not called? Is that
correct?
What you said? Yeah, it's a problem. Listen, can you win a case if the police weren't there? Sure. Have I won a case when the police didn't come? Yes, but it's not so easy, because usually it's a one word versus another, even when the cops come there. Can you imagine when the cops aren't there? Some people even deny that the accident never even happened. Maybe there wasn't much damage to the car, and they say, what are you talking about? I didn't hit that guy. I wasn't involved in an accident. I don't know who this guy is. So you obviously want to make sure that, to the extent possible, you do have the police there, or at a very, very, very minimum, right? Take photographs at the scene. Sometimes there's situations, maybe it's very late at night or terrible weather, or maybe you've got to get somewhere. You shouldn't be leaving the scene of the accident, but if you do have to leave, not only should you be getting the information of the other driver, not only should you be taking pictures of their driver's license and insurance card, you should take pictures of the accident scene, just so we can show the accident did happen and happened in a way that's consistent with your story.
And what happens if you don't report it to the insurance?
They could. It's an excellent. You're on fire today, man. They could disclaim. So basically, the insurance company has the responsibility to cover you for accidents, unless, you do something to screw them over. I mean, insurance companies want to do their investigation as well. So if you get into an accident and don't report it, for weeks and weeks to come, they could claim that you've prejudiced their rights to defend you, or their rights to recover money that they're paying in the accident could disclaim. So it could be a big issue. But that, of course, is something that we do, within a matter of hours of a client coming in. When a client comes in to sign up, Nelson, our paralegals are calling the insurance company. I shouldn't even say hours, within minutes of that client leaving, saying, hey, we represent so-and-so in this accident. Where can we send our letter of representation? So there really is no waiting with respect to us snapping into action. We are working on your file within minutes of you leaving our office.
Absolutely. Great question, Jared Nelson. By the way, folks, Nelson happens to be one of the top immigration attorneys at the same firm that Adam Handler is at. He's a partner also. They're both partners. Adam runs the personal injury department as we talk about accidents and what one should do and so forth. Nelson, like I noted, is one of the top attorneys who is firing questions at Adam, man, here on Testimonial Tuesday. I'd love to get to Testimonial Tuesday shortly, man, but I got a couple of questions for Mr. Alan E.K. here, and also, of course, for Nelson Madrid. Let's go to the ones on Facebook right now. Here we go. Can a H-2B worker who is currently in the U.S. file for citizenship now with the new immigration law? And can you elaborate more on it where H-2B is concerned with the new immigration law?
Okay, now H-2B is a temporary visa. That's not going to you can't file for citizenship unless you're already a permanent resident. Once you have a green card, you can file for citizenship 5 years later, or if you're married to an American, 3 years later. So H-2 doesn't go to citizenship. H-2 has to go to green card. And H-2 is a temporary visa. Normally it's good for a year or two. Maybe you could get it extended. So just bear in mind, you cannot go from H-2 to green card. Come and see us. We can talk to you about how you can get a green card, whether your employer who got you the H-2 might be willing to file for you for green card, or whether you have a relative that might be willing to file for you. But H-2 doesn't lead to green card.
And just to add to that, there are proposed changes. There's no new immigration laws or new immigration rules. That's, in the works. So I just want to make that clear to people. I mean, there's proposals that are in the pipeline which have not been finalized. So, at this point, we don't necessarily know what will become law and what will not become law. So I just wanted to clarify that.
And be very careful for people, travel agents, notarios, other lawyers who say, well, there's going to be a new immigration law. Come to me, give me some money. I'll get you a first online, so you don't have to wait. Stay away from those people. They're taking advantage of you. There's a proposed immigration law. It's not in effect now. Don't pay anybody any money to get you the first online. This happens all the time. Be very careful about that.
Okay. Let's give out the number. And once again, folks, remember, you can reach out to the firm directly, all right? Reach out to real, live, bona fide attorneys at PPID. Here's the number. Dial it, schedule a consultation, go in, see them, hire them, let them do the work. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, 844 PPID Law. Once again, just a reminder, this coming Friday, mega show, PPID Law Forum. Go to eventbrite.com or just click on the link if you're on Facebook, on Adam's page, the case handler, PPID's page or my page, and you can register for free to be a part of that forum this coming Friday at 6 p.m. on 93.5, Facebook, Zoom, and yes, through Eventbrite. Here's a question, another question from Facebook here. Denise Joseph, who happens to be one of our solid listeners.
Yeah, she's great. Thank you so much for all your dedication to the show. I really, really appreciate it. I know Nelson does too.
Yes, we all do.
I do.
And definitely you, Alan. Denise Joseph says, my husband was diagnosed with aneurysm and had to do emergency surgery to put a stent. I'm outside the U.S., still not approved. What can I do now to go be with him? It's heartbreaking not being with him. It's an F2A category, PD, November 2019.
Well, you've got a problem because if F2A means that there's an immigrant visa case pending. So you go into the consulate to try to get a visitor's visa to come and see your husband, and they may say, well, look, you're an intending immigrant. We're not really sure we're going to give you a visitor's visa because...
But is that, not to interrupt you, Alan, but is that something that the law firm can actually handle for her?
Yes, we can handle it. The idea is we have to persuade the American consulate that even though there's an immigrant visa case pending, this is an emergency, and I explained previously that they're very sympathetic with emergencies and humanitarian cases, but you have to persuade the consulate, yes, there's an immigrant visa case pending, but this is an emergency, humanitarian considerations, and maybe this is one where you can talk about posting a bond and say, I'll be happy to post the bond, give me a visitor's visa, I've got to get to the United States, somebody's sick or ill, and the bond will make sure that I come back if you want a bond. Maybe you trust me without a bond. You show the doctor's evidence, medical evidence to show there's an emergency.
Gotcha. The number once again for the firm is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-PPID law. All right. One more question before we kick it back over to Adam Handler, who's going to be doing what's called Testimonial Tuesday. You know, Nelson's favorite part of the show. All right. I am a permanent resident and I have applied for my spouse, PD, November the 6th. Everyone is saying it's going to take 2 to 3 years, but I'm facing clinical depression, anxiety, social phobia, and taking treatment under a professional. It is getting hard for me to cope with this alone. I am with my relatives, but can't share with them much. I have added my doctor's letter to my documents on the online portal and requested them to look into the matter, but they denied it. Now, if he applies to get into a university, is it possible for him to come earlier? Will they give him a visa? Is there any way to make them look into my case?
All right, it's not going to make the green card case any quicker. The only issue is, will they issue a visitor's visa because of your medical condition? And again, we talked about that just a few minutes ago, and this new bond requirement may make it easier to get a visitor's visa because of the medical condition. But normally, the consul is going to be very suspicious because we know you've got an immigrant visa case pending, and how do we know if we give you the visa, you're just going to stay in the United States?
I say they should actually just call the firm, speak with the firm, and find out what their options are. And that's the reason why I say call the 844-774-3529 number. That's 844-774-3529. You have immigration issues, immigration questions, call the firm, get a consultation, and they will let you know straightforward exactly what can be done or what cannot be done. 844-774-3529. I'm going to kick it over to Adam Handler on personal injury as we switch from immigration to personal injury and get a true success story, okay? All right, from Adam Handler himself. Adam.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Listen, Testimonial Tuesday again is our opportunity to let you folks know, who we are and how we do things. We just recently had a case settle and a wonderful, wonderful client. She was super excited to be able to participate and give her story. And our marketing coordinator, Zaina, put together a very nice presentation. So I will show that to you guys right now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adam Handler. I'm your case handler. I'm the partner of Pollack, Isaac DeSico, who handles the personal injury cases. I've been doing it for 17 years. As we said, I've obtained well over $130 million from our clients, and we're continuing to do some very, very special things. The story we have for today is Martine. That's not her real name, but you got Martine there in the middle. You got her brother on the left. They come as a tandem all the time. They're very, very close brother and sister. I love to see that you can have brothers and sisters after so many years, not want to kill each other and help each other out. And he's a wonderful person and she's a wonderful person too. And this was something that just settled last week. An interesting case because it involved a state agency called MVAC. I don't want to bore everybody out there with the details, but there are situations where you can be, she was a pedestrian, you can get in an accident and it's either a hit and run or you're hit by a vehicle that doesn't have insurance. And unfortunately for her, that's what the situation was. I mean, obviously very unfortunate for her that she was walking down the street in the crosswalk, got hit and had a broken knee. But to add insult to injury, there was no insurance available on the car, so we had to apply to the state agency for them to cover the medical bills. So essentially, they pick up for that vehicle. It's a measure of last resort, but it is available. But it's minimal limits, minimal insurance policy, minimal coverage for the medical. But I guess, Squeeze, it's better than nothing. So we did apply for it. We did get her settlement check. The accident happened over the summer, and I love this quote. She really was a wonderful client. We're still working on a case. Squeeze, just read that quote for me real quick.
Excellent service. Adam is someone you can always call and count on. Martine from the Bronx. Maximum MAVEC policy.
It's actually pronounced MVAC. Almost like NASA. You say the word how it's spelled, but MVAC stands for Motor Vehicle Accident Indemnification Corporation. And like I said, it's a state-funded agency that does pick up for you if, God forbid, you're ever with an accident, with a hit and run or a uninsured vehicle. Obviously not the preferred way to go about it. You want to go after the insurance company, but when there's really no money to go after, you got to find alternate sources. So she was compensated. Her medical bills will be paid. Her time out of work will be paid. But certainly lucky that this agency exists. And in some states, they don't have that, Squeeze, and you're screwed. I mean, you really could recover nothing. So, the best possible result for a very unfortunate situation, but I do love that photograph. And you also notice that new mask I got. A client, actually my paralegal, Sandra, brought that in for me one morning. She's like, I thought of you as soon as I saw that mask, because she knows I have that big Bob Marley painting in my office. So all good there, smiles under those masks. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we are exceptional attorneys. We do things very, very differently than the other attorneys you hear either on this radio station or on TV or on the billboards. We're practicing attorneys. We are the real deal. We do it the right way. And our clients, needless to say, are extremely appreciative of the work we do. And that should really say everything. You can never guarantee an outcome in the future, but when you do good work in the past, and your clients are there to vouch for you and give such wonderful quotes, not only in personal injury, but on the immigration side. That is the true measure of a wonderful law firm. And we are Pollack, Isaac Tasico. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to hit the top of the hour. Good luck with all those advertisements you're about to hear. But we are 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, do remember that if you would like to stay in touch with PPID or vice versa, just email news@ppid.com. That's news@ppid.com. And don't forget to go to Eventbrite and register for the major event this coming Friday at 6 p.m. It will be live on 93.5 FM, also Zoom, but register. It's free, and we're giving away iPads. Make sure you check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the top. All right, so we're at the top, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, snowy day it is. And I think I got one more question here, and then we can jump into it. You okay over there, Alan?
Yep.
Okay, Nelson, anything you would like to say before we wrap it up?
No, not much. Just listening.
I've got one thing to put in. I just found out a minute ago that President Biden will sign an executive order today, which will call for a review of the public charge rule. It doesn't mean he's going to eliminate it, but they're going to look at it and see what they can do about getting rid of it. So this is really important, and I just saw it on my phone right now, and that's going to be one of 3 executive orders that the president is going to sign today. a review of the public charge rule. And hopefully it will soften or they'll get rid of it. So good news.
All right, here's a question for Nelson. Someone said to ask you this question, Nelson, before we wrap up. I want to sponsor my father who was deported almost 10 years ago. His ban is almost up. Will his deportation make him ineligible?
You know, so this is actually a very good question. And I actually have a client who had a similar issue. Everything depends on the reason why he was deported, right? I mean, was there some sort of criminal conviction related to the deportation? What was that criminal conviction, right? All of these things are things that an attorney has to take into consideration before he gives someone advice. You know, and I had this conversation with someone recently, you know, but just to give you guys an example, there's a big difference between simple possession of any controlled substance and possession with intent to sell, or possession with intent to distribute, or, you know, part of a conspiracy to distribute. You know, one of the things we typically do in a situation like this is first we request a copy of that person's immigration file. We see what happened before, and that would determine whether or not that person, you know, or the petitioner can petition for the beneficiary, and whether that beneficiary has a, you know, a possibility to enter or re-enter the United States. You know, again, it's not a clear-cut question. It all depends on the criminal history. Was it one conviction? Was it multiple convictions? You know, right. Was it a felonious assault? You know, I mean, there's a lot more information that I would need before I could give an answer to that question. But give us a call, you know, give us a call. Again, this is something I just did for someone else, Squeeze. I got a copy of the immigration file and I saw what happened before, and he told me the same thing. He said, well, some other attorney told me because I was deported more than 10 years ago, I could come back. No, you can't. You know, you did not share with that attorney that you had been convicted of an aggravated felony. And if you shared that with that attorney and that attorney told you you could come back, you were going to waste your money and waste your time, because there is no waiver for an aggravated felony conviction. And depending on the seriousness of that crime, you may be subject to a permanent bar.
Gotcha. Well said. Nelson Madrid, one of the partners at the firm, PPID, that's Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. I thank you so much, Nelson, for actually doing this and answering that specific question right there. I want to say thanks to Alan E.K., another attorney, also for bringing us up to speed, up to date with what's happening with immigration and what's coming down the pike. And also, of course, my colleague and co-pilot, Mr. Adam Handler. Okay, thank you so much for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, immigration, personal injury, different departments at the firm, PPID. The number, once again, that we all need is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW, 844-774-3529. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, this coming Friday, 6 p.m. sharp, go to Eventbrite, register for the major PPID Law Forum. And don't forget to email us at news@ppid.com to be a part of our newsletter. Thank you all so much, and have yourself a snowy day.